Good morning, everyone. Here's your Southeast Idaho weather planning briefing for the first day of February here in 2019. We've got quite a bit to talk about this morning. What has changed in the last 24 hours? It looks like we're going to see a later arrival with storm number 1 in terms of the heavy precipitation. That's holding off until later Saturday and Saturday night. That means we're going to be in the warm sector a little bit longer. That means some higher snow levels and more rain in the lower elevations than we were looking at before. What we still do know is the first storm arrives Saturday morning and that lasts through Sunday afternoon. We're going to see the heavier snow above 6,000 feet because of the wet nature of the snow, limited blowing and drifting snow, and of course that rain on snow potential at the lower elevations. What we don't know yet, some better timing coming in with storms number 2 and number 3, and that mainly has to do when we're seeing the heaviest precipitation and successive cold fronts with each storm coming through. How much rain in the valleys versus snow, especially with storm number 2, and the blowing and drifting potential with those second and third storms. But it does look like that will increase due to some colder temperatures coming our way. Now, this is an experimental thing we've been working with here this winter on occasion. It's called the Winter Storm Severity Index. And you'll notice the light greens means a very limited potential with this winter storm in terms of impacts. Where we do have the higher impacts, and we'll get into this in a little more detail, is in some of the higher elevations, especially once again you give above 6,000 feet. Also in the upslope areas from basically right around the Wood River Valley up through Arco up towards Du Bois in that direction as well. And that's the overall index. We can break it down. The snow amount component is very similar again because of some of that upslope snow. Again, this is just for the Saturday and Sunday portion of this event. Not much in terms of snow load. That's the weight of snow on things. Again, that's going to be mainly higher elevation. So again, where most people are, that's not going to be an impact. And the blowing snow potential, again, is not going to be that high. Very limited impacts. Maybe some of the high ridges seeing some blowing and drifting snow because the snow is going to be a little bit colder up there. Or the temperatures will be colder, so some powdery snow. Now, we're going to take this hour by hour as we start the onset of this event in the morning by 5 a.m. Precipitation is starting to move into the central mountains. Not much going on. It eventually spreads eastward by the time we get into the afternoon hours. And you'll notice by the time we get to 3 o'clock, most of the precipitation is again falling across those upslope areas from the Wood River Valley to up towards Du Bois Island Park, down in the eastern highlands, across a good chunk of the Snake Plain as well. And you'll notice most of that is rain. Snow levels tomorrow and tomorrow night peaking between 5,500 and 6,500 feet. And because we're going to be in those higher snow levels longer, more rain at lower elevations. As we continue through time, you can really see the precip starting to kick in there Saturday evening into Saturday night. Some pretty good precipitation. You'll notice that it's a pretty good solid swath of snow, again, above 6,000 feet. Rain at lower elevations with that as well. And we're going to take a little better look here as we go into Sunday. Again, I think this is overdoing the amount of rain we'll see in the lower elevation Sunday morning, but that will continue into Sunday afternoon. Now, looking at potential for snow through this period, we'll reset this here real quick. Skip right back through till we get to Saturday morning. Again, very light snow moving in. Not much during the morning on Saturday. Again, some of the high elevations may see an inch or two of snow Saturday afternoon. But here's when the higher precip totals start in those upslope areas. We're talking anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of snow in those areas. Could be a locally higher amount or two, especially once you get off the valley floors. And into Sunday morning, that really starts picking up in those areas. Huge swath of warmer coming up the Snake Plain. That's going to be rain. You can see also towards Island Park, we're starting to pick up some 2 to 4 inch snow amounts. The same, some of the higher peaks, especially along the Bear River Range for Sunday morning into Sunday afternoon, and then we start to see that storm winding down a bit across the area. Snowfall totals for this particular storm, you can see not much across the lower elevations, maybe a couple of inches along the Arco Desert up towards Du Bois. But again, the Wood River Valley, some of those areas could see 6 to 12 inches, higher amounts once you get into the mountains. Stanley looking right around 6 to 8 inches. Up around Island Park, 8 to 10 inches, maybe some higher amounts in the mountains. Only around 2 to 3 inches for the Teton Valley. Not much for the lower elevations down south. Again, some of those higher rangers, though, above 6,000 feet, could see a foot or more of snow. Precipitation-wise, most areas not seeing a whole lot of snow in those lower elevations, but you can see a quarter to half inch of rain, maybe a little bit more once you get in the upper Snake Plain. Those higher elevations, those water totals, melted snow, we're talking anywhere from half an inch to 1.5 inches with this event. Now we're going to sneak back here. We're going to take you into Sunday evening, that next round coming through. This is mainly depicting it as snow. I think we're going to see snow levels again right around 4,500 to 5,000 feet with this event, so rain at lower elevations. This is going to have more snow, though, outside of the Snake Plain, and the winds picking with this as well. And we haven't shown the winds, but winds off and on are pretty persistent through this event, around 25 to 40 in the mountains. With each front coming through in the lower elevations, we get a little bit mixing. We'll see around 15 to 25 mile-an-hour winds. But again, overall snow, at least especially with this first event, it's so wet, blowing and drifting is not a problem. We go into Monday morning. That event is over. You can see some rain in the lower elevations Monday afternoon. We go into Monday night. We're going to see another round of upslope snow, basically from the lava beds up through the Island Park area. Rain mixing with snow at lower elevations again, and then we'll see that event winding down on Tuesday as well. So, again, we've got a lot coming our way. We'll have more information on what's especially going to happen, more details with storm number 1. We're hopefully going to get things more into focus for storm number 2 and number 3 as we go through the next 24 hours for sure. Have a great day, everyone. Stay safe out there, and definitely keep abreast of the latest forecast if you have plans out for this weekend and early next week.